Tripoint Conversations, and I'm your host, Kristina Lowe. Today I'm sitting down with Jessica Wuchterl, owner and chief visionary officer, and Lisa Stevens, CEO of Xtreme Coating Solutions. So what I want to talk to you guys today about is culture and leadership and what it actually takes to change it. Lisa was brought in to help change a culture that wasn't working as well as expected. And Jessica, as the owner, you were the one who had to recognize that change was needed and make the decision to do something, some might say, a little drastic. So today I want to hear the story from both sides of the table, but I'm really glad you're both here.
Thank you. We're excited to be here.
All right. So Jessica, let's start with you. Before anyone comes in to help change a culture, the owner has to see it first. What was going on in the business that made you realize that something needed to change?
It was probably an accumulation of a lot of things over many years, and it really took some deep work on myself to have the courage and the vision to see what was happening and to identify the problem. The business started almost 15 years ago between my in-laws, my husband, and myself. And over the years, we had family involved in the business, and I really came on at the beginning as a support role for them, to kind of do the back end stuff, take my knowledge from my past experiences to just kind of support and try to help Kyle get out of corporate America. And it didn't take long, but within a few years, we grew very fast. And my husband is extremely talented in sales, so he can sell ice to Eskimos. So it grew and it grew fast. So my support role kind of evolved over time. And with the dynamic of the business over those years, I filled in the gap on everything that anyone wasn't good at or didn't want to do. And a lot of that was in conflict and decision making, big decisions. I'm kind of a risk taker. So I kind of stepped into those things, which then put me in leadership, put me in the one that people were looking at to make decisions when they needed to be made, but also wasn't the face of the business. So I was kind of doing it from the back end. And I guess it was about 10 years into the business, we had severed ties with some family members and had some not fun moments in the business. And I was at a turning point of, what am I really doing here? Is this worth it? And I was not happy. I was not happy at home. I was not happy at work. We were in the middle of a lot of success. And from the outside, everyone, I'm sure, was like, what's wrong with you?
And what aren't you happy about?
We had just bought a beautiful farm that we were rehabbing. My kids were thriving. We were making good money, but I came home miserable. I felt like a hamster on a wheel. I was not doing the type of work I wanted to do. I was handling conflict by myself and feeling very unprepared and just kind of surviving in that area. And I was completely burnt out. I had no support. I was doing it all by myself. And I kind of had to take a deep dive into me and what I really wanted. I had no idea what I wanted.
Because you were kind of put into this role. You started out as a support role. And you just kept elevating and being elevated.
That's right.
Yeah.
So around right before COVID, actually, I hired a coach and I just started to do some deep inner work, almost like spiritual work within myself. And just to kind of figure out, one, who was I? What did I really want? And how was I going to do that? Were we going to sell the business? Was I going to just completely uproot my life? And over the last, I would say, from 2020 to 24, I really worked on myself and really kind of got to know me. I hired support. I hired more coaches. I kind of followed a thread of from one coach to the next. When I felt complete, then it would lead me to someone else. And in 2024, I decided that I needed to get in business with myself and my husband only. And so I bought a partner out, and I decided that year as well that we needed new leadership. And I knew that leadership was not going to be me. And I loved to support. Yeah. And I knew that being in the business day to day, every day, was not where I wanted to be. So we started the process in, I would say, August or September of 24. I hired a really great recruiting company to find a new CEO and a full-time CEO. We had a part-time one before that, and I knew I wanted something full-time. I knew exactly in my mind who I wanted. I wanted a specific person that had gone through specific experiences, that was familiar with certain strategies and certain things that I had taken through my life, and I wanted them to be a complete badass. Yeah. And I wanted to partner with that person, a vision and what I wanted for the business. And it didn't take long. And I remember I was sitting in a campground in Tennessee with my family for fall break in the bedroom of our camper, watching videos online, because I got to view the interviews, recorded. And Lisa came up on the video, and she was like the second or third video I'd watched. And I was like, wow, we may be done with this.
This is it.
Yeah. So, it took some time for a transition, but she started in January of 2025, and the rest is history. So, yeah.
So Lisa, what was that like coming into a family-owned business, knowing that change needed to happen?
Well, I had done that several times before. I'd worked for several family-owned businesses. As luck would have it, every company that I went into needed some structural change. So this wasn't anything new to me. And Jessica and Kyle had kind of laid the groundwork of what was going on with the company. So I knew going in what kind of situation we were in. The culture was a little toxic, and we had a lot of interfighting between managers and whatnot. So that was one of the first things that we needed to tackle, was to try to change the company culture and get that turned around. Because I felt like that was really what was hindering the company from seeing continued growth and looking for opportunity.
So when you say toxic, that can mean a lot of different things. What did that mean for Xtreme Coating Solutions?
Well, this happens a lot with companies. It was like the sales team was against the operations team, and they were not working together. And then the team was against the owners. And I'm not sure what all happened prior to that created that culture. But if something went wrong, it was either all the sales fault or all of the operations team's fault, and they were not working together, and they were just looking for things to pick on each other with. And it was just not a good environment. And they were, from day one of me walking in, there was constant clashing and fighting going on between the folks, and nobody was giving anybody a chance to make mistakes. And that's the best way to learn, is when you make mistakes, figure out a better way to do it and improve yourself. But they were just pointing the fingers, which doesn't help in any situation. So one of the first things that we did was read the 5 dysfunctions of a team, and talked about, how important trust was, how important being vulnerable with each other was, and embracing our mistakes with courage. We meet twice a week, and we always talk about what kind of mistake we made over the past 2 weeks, and what did we learn from that mistake, so that we can continue to grow.
So I can only imagine when you brought this in, if people are blaming each other, and now you're asking them to kind of own up to mistakes, but then use it as a learning experience. What was that like when you first implemented that?
It did not go over well at first. Yeah. We had to have a lot of counseling sessions. And, there was a lot of, it's all Kyle's fault while we're having these problems. And then when you really dig into it, no, it wasn't all Kyle's fault. Some of it was operations led. And just getting them to own that and letting them know it's okay to make a mistake. You're not going to get into trouble with making mistakes. And before that, I think there was fear of making a mistake and what the repercussions were going to be if they admitted they made a mistake. And the other side of that was if you made recommendations to improve in operations, for example, well, they saw that as you don't think I'm good enough. And that's not the case. We can always be better. Stop looking at it that way. There's always room for improvement. So let's look for those opportunities to improve. And it's okay if sales makes a recommendation to operations to improve or vice versa. We're here to help each other, and one can't survive without the other.
Absolutely. What shift did you see in people as they did, I'm assuming, trusted each other more?
We went through a lot of exercises on being vulnerable. Like I said, sharing our mistakes, sharing if you had an issue with someone, how someone talked to you, sharing that in the group and discussing that openly with the whole group, which is uncomfortable at first. But we're becoming better at having those conversations with each other, but just having the open, transparent communication. We opened up the financials to everyone, showed them exactly what the company's doing. We are completely transparent on everything that's going on with the company. So there is no secrets. We're sharing everything with all of you guys. You share with us what we're doing wrong, and that includes me. If I've done something wrong, they know that they have the right to come and say, hey, I don't like the way you said this, or I don't like the way you did this. And I'm going to work to improve myself. I'm not perfect either.
Yeah. Jessica, what was that like for you to see the shift in the culture and the change?
It was amazing. It was exactly what I wanted. And I would say we took baby steps. We took small steps towards that. And it may be, something where someone would say, well, I don't like your tone, or I don't like the way this made me feel, or whatever. And over that year period, the conflict and the openness got bigger and bigger, and people felt more comfortable to open up bigger things that were bothersome or problems. So it definitely, and it took, reading that book and seeing that kind of happen in that book and that experience of that company, and knowing that, man, that feels like us. And seeing that win on paper in a story. And also our management training every other week that we have with Lisa. She brings videos. She brings experiences that we can watch and see that it makes sense, so it just slowly, week by week, things started to open up and just kind of reveal itself. So yeah, it was really cool to watch.
Because you say baby steps, but really it's only been a year.
Yeah.
So you must have been really intentional bringing in tools and changes of behavior. And I mean, how would you describe, what you implemented? Because it's only been a year.
Well, we really focused, like I said, on the 5 dysfunctions of a team. That's where we started. And we have focused a lot on emotional IQ and growing from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Being willing to be vulnerable, willing to appreciate if somebody else is doing well and not being jealous of that, just being supportive of that. Being willing to say, I don't know how to do this right now, but I can learn how to do this. And just trying to shift that mindset. And one of the things that we did was read the Ted Lasso book. We believe. I told them all you have to do, and we've shown so many examples of that, of people that have just believed that they could do something and then they were able to accomplish it. And that's one of the things that we talk about a lot is just believing that we can do this. If you believe it, then you're going to find a way to make that happen. And that's exactly what's happened for us over the 2025 year. And we've got huge goals for 2026. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be able to achieve them. And if you ask anybody there, they'll tell you the same thing. Yeah, we're going to do this. It's going to happen. We're going to do it because we believe that we can.
Yeah, and the other shift that I saw was we got the right people in the right seats. There needed to be some movement in what people wanted to do and what they were good at doing.
Yeah.
And, there was some turnover too, so, kind of getting those shifts and moving people into positions I didn't think were possible at our at our level to be able to move into, and making that happen and find wins in that was a big thing in the trust, I believe, too.
You say, finding wins. I mean, my company in the past, we've talked about celebrating the wins. Are there certain things that you have put into practice, whether it's, weekly stand-up meetings or celebrating the wins that you think have contributed to the success?
Well, we've implemented EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. So the first thing that we do in our weekly L10 meeting is talk about our successes, and we give shout-outs to everybody. But we've also got a channel on Teams that's for shout-outs. And anytime somebody goes above and beyond, we shout them out. Initially, it took a minute to take that off, but now, almost daily, somebody is shouting out somebody else for what a great job they've done.
Yeah.
Whether it be a sale that they've made or something fantastic that's been done in operations or accounting. So everybody is getting shout-outs almost daily about what a great job they're doing, and it makes a huge impact on the morale of the company.
Recognizing each other. It's not just coming from leadership, but peers.
It comes from peers a lot, which is so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about some turnover. What was the resistance like from people? I just don't think that they were going to be able to make that transition of the mindset. Their mindset was negative. They didn't believe in the company. They didn't believe in the switch in the culture. They weren't buying into the changes that we were trying to make. And we, for me, it's the attitude. It's the attitude that's going to elevate people at our company. Attitude versus altitude is going to determine your altitude in our company. So they just weren't going to get there mentally. So I guess there was too much baggage that had accumulated while they had been there, and it was time for them to go. But when we're looking for new hires now, it's making sure that their personality is going to fit with our culture. That they're going to be able to believe in what we're doing and be able to assist and help the other team members. We're all about teamwork, stepping in and helping wherever you can. It's not unusual for our sales manager to be over helping operations, or operations doing something for sales, or accounting helping sales. And that's the kind of culture that we want to be, that we're all here to help each other. And how do you interview for something like that? When you say, you want to make sure that they're going to fit into the culture, are there certain questions, or is it kind of a gut feeling?
I think it's a mixture of both. We also do disc profiling to make sure that they've got the right personality to fit the job that they're applying for.
Yeah.
So we rely heavily on that, and then just interviewing and just getting a feel for what kind of personality this person's going to bring to the table.
What about life outside the company? I mean, are there things that you do to help contribute to being a better leader, or maybe being able to take a break from the company?
Yeah, I think you cannot separate work life and home and family life. They bleed into each other. What we're doing in our careers and at our work just automatically blends into that. And we've gotten a lot of feedback, especially at the end of this year, how much the change that has happened at work has reflected in their home life.
Yeah.
They've been able to take the things that they've practiced at work and apply them at home too. So, we're a family-owned business.
Yeah.
And we want that to always feel that way. And it's important to us that our team members feel that and know that at the end of the day, our family is first.
Yeah.
And I think we do a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, we've got a lot of feedback. Like she said, at the end of the year, managers tearful of joy of how much this has impacted their home life with their children and their spouses, and they're so much happier at work. It's fun to be there. We have a good time.
Yeah.
We laugh. We joke. We have a lot of fun. And it was such a heavy atmosphere this time last year. But it's very light, very joyful type of atmosphere. It's fun to come in there and work every day with those people. We joke and we laugh, and they're able to go home and enjoy their family and their children and not have to worry about the stresses that they were having at work. So it's made a big difference.
And I'm sure there's a lot of different aspects. I mean, when I think back at companies I've worked for, I can think back at the smaller family-owned and the culture that it brings, and then more of the corporate, and it's just a different feeling. If somebody is leading or in a, we'll call more of a toxic environment, what would you recommend that they implement to start moving in the right direction?
I would recommend the first thing that they do is read the 5 dysfunctions of a team with their teammates, and start to implement those processes. Trust is huge. You've got to start to develop trust with your team. And it starts with the leader. The leader's got to be willing to be vulnerable and share their shortcomings with the group so that others will feel comfortable doing the same. And then just, like Jessica said, every 2 weeks we have a meeting and we go through videos or just talk to each other about some of the issues we're having with each other. And I think that is what has enabled us to grow as a team. Just having those open, honest communications with each other. Having correspondence on how to deal with a particular situation. I may give them a scenario and say, okay, the 2 of you guys, I want to see how you all interact and how you do that. So doing those types of activities and just being completely open and honest. And then if there's people that just aren't coming to the table with it, you need to have firm conversations with them. And if they're not in the right seat on the bus, then maybe they don't belong with the company. And you got to make those difficult decisions too.
Yeah. Yeah, anything you would add?
I would add just the fact of having transparency. And as the owners of the business and the ones that kind of got us to this point, that was always a desire that we wanted. We just didn't know how to do it. The first piece was opening up the books and really being very transparent in all the actions of the company. And it empowered them with information. They maybe didn't understand it, and Lisa does a really good job at accounting training in our financial review meetings, because we truly want them to understand what a balance sheet is, what a profit loss statement is. So at any point they can go in and review any of those accounting reports. So that's an important piece. And we also implemented a really great profit sharing program. So they also can track what kind of money, extra bonuses they'll make depending on our efforts and how we perform. So having those things in place and really having the consistency of implementing that on a consistent basis, because we're all not going to, we're transparent now? Okay, let's do it. It's taken time and consistent effort to remind and to role model, have these interactions in a meeting where we're role playing and practicing these things, and them feeling safe, to do so. So transparency and really starting at the leadership level and then working its way down has been huge. Yeah.
And I think the EOS system is fantastic. It provides a lot of structure for your company. And one of the things that we do every quarter is we list out 3 big rocks that we're going to accomplish. That's outside of our normal day-to-day activities. And we monitor those throughout the quarter. Our goal is to have continual improvement, and those big rocks help us with the continual improvement of the organization. And if everybody hits their big rocks for the quarter, we do some kind of company event. We went to the lake. We blew glass one event. We let them pick what they want to do for the quarter. So it keeps them excited and keeps them motivated, and they motivate others to get those tasks done so we can have our quarterly event.
So when I hear things like profit sharing and events, it sounds like you're investing back into the employees. What I'm not hearing is, high executive corporate bonuses, and there could be some of that, but it sounds like there's transparency, and there's what's called probably sharing among all employees.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we win, we all win.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I'm sure makes them feel more part of the team instead of working just for the company. Everyone's working together with each other.
Yeah, and the amount of profit sharing that they're getting is fairly significant. Jessica and Kyle are very generous as owners of the company, and it's had a huge impact on the morale of the company as well. We paid out some significant bonuses in October of last year. That was wonderful. And, paying out big bonuses like that has a huge impact on people, their personal lives and their lives with their family. They're using it for vacations or doing extra things for their family. So it's been a huge motivator for us. They are keeping track of what we're selling every month, and they want to know what those dollars look like because it's going to impact their profit sharing. So they're much more engaged in everything that's going on with the company, and they're very quick to say, "Hey, we don't need to buy that,"
because they know what happens if they do.
That's going to cost me and my profit sharing. We really don't need that. Yeah.
Which and just thinking about that, some leaders might hear that of big bonuses to everyone, but it sounds like investing back in the employees has actually helped the bottom line.
It absolutely has. And, at the beginning of last year, I heard we need more people. We need to have, we need more people in here to help. And when I talk about that now, I think we can handle it. We can do that. We can find a way to automate where we don't need to hire someone else. So yeah, it absolutely has had an impact on our ROI.
Yeah. If someone's listening in a similar situation, what advice would you tell them?
I think transparency really has been the big factor for us, letting everybody know that they're a part of this, that we're going to share everything that's going on with you, and being willing to trust. You've got to have that trust with everybody, that especially on your management team. So that's the big thing that you need to work on, is developing the trust with everyone. And again, that's showing your vulnerability, whether it be the owner or me as the CEO, being willing to say, hey, these are my shortcomings. I know that. They know that I am not great at communicating. For example, I feel like, I've communicated to them what I want them to do. In my mind, they should know, but in their mind, they're like, they're not sure. So this has happened over and over again, and they know that that's one of my shortcomings. So they know, hey, Lisa, I don't think you've communicated that well enough. I don't really understand what you're asking us to do. It's something that I'm working on, but it's something that I struggle with, and they know that.
But it sounds like they feel comfortable telling you that.
Oh, they will absolutely come in my office and say, hey, I do not like the way you said that. And that's the way it should be. It's okay to tell me that I've done something wrong. I'm not perfect. I never will be. But to share your imperfections and let them know that you're human too, that you make mistakes. It's okay to make, not only is it okay to make a mistake, I want you to make mistakes, because if you're not making mistakes, then you're not trying new things. So go out there, make the mistakes. Let's celebrate them every 2 weeks. What did you learn from that? How can you grow from it? And I've worked at so many places where if you made a mistake, you were in huge trouble. And people are so afraid to make a mistake, they're not going to get out of their comfort zone and try new things, because if I make a mistake, I'm going to get in trouble. And what a horrible way to have to work. I don't want to work that way. I don't want to feel like if I make a mistake, I'm going to lose my job. And I know that my employees don't want to feel that way either. And they know, just be honest with me. If you made a mistake, you're not going to get in trouble. Let's figure out how to fix it. And then what you learn, let's move on.
Let's learn from it.
So just trusting each other, having that open communication, allowing them to make mistakes and celebrating those mistakes, I think will go a long way.
And I'll kind of talk to the owner piece of this. And, I was so bogged down with the day-to-day task and just the lack of support that I really thought I could do it all. the biggest change for me was to get the support, whether it be a coach or whether it be an assistant or somebody that can kind of take that off of your plate so you can see, so you can feel, so that you can maybe get to know yourself and what you really want in the business. And for me at this time was to know what the business needed, and was that going to be me?
Yeah.
Or was it not? And in my case, it was not. But that was true. There was part of me that it wanted to be me, but I knew that that was not what I really wanted. So identifying that and having the space and the time to be able to ask those questions and be really honest with myself made making those steps to making it happen a lot easier.
Because it took several years before it sounds like you hired a coach and then eventually hired Lisa. But you did come to that conclusion.
Yep.
So if you look back, what advice do you think you would tell yourself in those earlier years?
I would say to be kinder during that transition to myself, because I think I beat myself up for a long time, because I felt like I was creating the problem and not solving it quick enough. So there was a lot of good times during those years too, but, and we've had great people work with our business, and we've grown over those years. Part of it was that we outgrew leadership and we needed to level up. Yeah. And I would say 2024 was that. Yeah. We had wonderful people. We had people that had just reached a point that we just needed to, rise up. So, to give myself more grace, to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, really. Because as an owner, you want to take 100% responsibility, and that's okay too. But to just be okay with it, And the process is the process, and it is what it is at the end of the day. And I'm proud of myself looking back at that time, even though it was, a long period of time. But if it hadn't happened the way it happened, I wouldn't have connected with Lisa.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason. I believe that. But I want to say that it takes a lot of courage as an owner to say, I know that I can't do this. Yeah. And I need to find somebody else that can. That takes a lot of courage. And the same thing with all the managers that we have. We've shifted some people around to get them in the right seats. Fantastic employees, they were just doing the wrong job. Yeah. And to realize, to really look at yourself and figure out what it is my skill sets can do, what I'm best suited for. Kudos to Jessica for figuring that out. And then we've had some of that going on at work too, with the management team. But making sure that you're in the right position is so critical to the success of the company.
Because I'm sure that takes vulnerability from people, because they have to admit this might not be the right position. And then the fear of, is there any position for me?
That's exactly right. Yeah. That's exactly right. And we've had some people move around. The gentleman that's kind of managing our operations area was doing a different function, and he did okay at it. But he didn't really like what he was doing, and it was creating a lot of stress for him because it kind of fell outside of his skill sets, and his disc profile didn't fit with that position. Yeah. But now he's in a position where he's very successful, and he's really happy with what he's doing and excited. What a difference that makes to get somebody in the right position.
Which comes back to trust, that they can trust that they can be vulnerable and say, this isn't it. But is there something else? Where else can I fit?
We'll find you a place. Yeah. As long as you've got the right attitude and are willing to believe that we're going to be successful, then we'll find you something that will work for you.
Yeah. What else would you like to add?
One of the other things that we're doing is lean manufacturing. We're not a manufacturing company, but it still applies to office work or any type of work that you're doing. So we are actively looking at ways to improve different functions within the office and outside in the field work. We're changing our system to NetSuite. major computer conversion going on next month. But we know that we need to do that to get more efficient. We have been really starting to track how quickly our technicians are getting jobs done, and have removed some people that weren't in the right seat, have started outsourcing a little bit more until we can build back up our team. But the volume of work that we're able to get done in a day has increased by about 20% a day, which is significant. And we still believe that we can continue on that improvement. So we're monitoring that every week. We're talking about it, trying to figure out how we can improve that. So we're doing that in every aspect of the business. How can we improve this? Just small improvements every week is making a big difference in our profitability.
And what are your plans for growth looking into 2026 and beyond?
Well, we're aggressively looking to grow. In 2024, we did $3.3 million in sales. This year, we did about $6.4 million. And that was with a lot of change, a lot of staff turnover, and working through those processes. Really, a lot of that growth came through second quarter through the end of the year. So we're really anticipating a strong year this year. We want to sell $15 million this year.
All right.
And I think we can do it.
Yeah.
We were a little bit low on January. We're going to make it up in February, and everybody in there believes that we can do it.
Yeah.
So we'll make it happen.
And I'm sure that helps make the difference of when, people rally together and come to solutions together instead of working in their own individual departments.
That's exactly right. Operations has, I think last month they sold about $50,000 in change orders, and we weren't having that happen before. So if they see an opportunity to sell, then they will sell too, or they will look for leads and give it to our sales manager. And then again, our sales manager is helping with operations and helping them find other subs, and so that everybody knows that we're there to support. And just about, I don't know, it was about a month ago, the operations team didn't have time to go over and move a bunch of material, so the sales team did it for them. And what a huge win that was. They were so grateful that the sales team was willing to go out there all day long in cold weather and physically move materials that were heavy. They know that they've got each other's back now, and what a difference that makes. Going from constantly battling each other to knowing that this small group is a family, and we're here to help in any way that we can.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like stay in your lane is part of your motto. It's really wide lanes, and it's not stepping on each other's toes. It's come and help. We need that.
Yeah. And it's being willing to say, I need help, too. Yeah. And that's something that didn't happen a year ago. They would never have asked for help and just suffered. But now they know they're going to help me if I ask, and everybody is just, if I need help, then I'm going to ask. And I know that the rest of my team has got my back.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, what an amazing story. Again, I go back to baby steps, but this has happened in 1 year. And I know there's a lot leading into it, but the change and the sales growth, and it sounds like the mindset of everyone there has shifted completely.
Yeah, it's I can't wait Sunday night to go to work on Monday. It's such a wonderful place to come and work.
Yeah.
Now, and we had a gentleman that was about ready to quit, and he's a wonderful man, and he does a fantastic job. And he was at the end of his rope last year with the stresses. He was going home crying every night, and now he's just he loves coming to work. He loves his job. What a difference that makes. Everybody should be able to come into work and have a good time, enjoy what you're doing. And we want everybody to be successful financially in every which way that you can be. And we want to be able to support that.
Yeah, and it sounds like when you say we want you to be successful, they believe it.
Oh, they do.
You're doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. So, Jessica, what's your role like today? Because it sounds like you've been able to get out of the weeds a little bit, provide real vision to leadership. So what does your role today look like?
Yeah, we this past year got certified in Kentucky and Indiana as women-owned business.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So in 2021 was the year that I officially bought out more equity in the business, which kind of put me in that equity position. But 2024 was the year I really stepped into that role and made the decisions and became more of the face and owned that role more. And today, to be honest with you, when Lisa started, I wanted to make that transition. And there was part of me, even in her interview, I'm sure she remembers that, I asked her, how do you feel about being a CEO to an absentee owner? Because that's what I thought my role might be, because I felt so tired and so burnout of I didn't know what to do, and I felt like I had hurt people in the business. And so I really thought maybe I would become an absentee owner. And through the year and staying in touch and staying involved in the management training meetings and the financial review meetings, I just loved being in there. Yeah. And when I wasn't in there, I missed it. And so now my role with the certifications, number one, is to get that word out. I'm doing a lot more networking, which is very uncomfortable for me. But I have made a commitment this year to become more of the face of the business and to not be behind Kyle or Lisa, and to step forward and overcome that fear of I'm an introvert naturally. I live on a farm, so just put me away with my animals for the day and I'm really happy.
I just want to say what a huge change this is. This is not the Jessica that I met a year ago. And I don't think she would have ever been willing to make this leap. She is really out of her comfort zone and doing these events, and what a change! What a change! And she's getting out there, getting out of her comfort zone, speaking to people, and has just really fallen into this chief visionary officer role, and is doing an amazing job at it. She is our chief visionary officer, and she helps me in so many ways when I'm conflicted on how to handle a situation. Having that support from her and being able to call her and say, hey, what do you think we should do? It's huge for me. Or just being able to vent.
So what is that support like?
It's so wonderful. You know, I've been in the CEO role before and didn't really have much support from the owner. He was absentee, and I'd talk to him about once every 2 or 3 months and didn't want to be bothered with anything going on in the business. But you know, Jessica leans in and offers a lot of ideas and suggestions that, you know, I'm kind of in the mix of everything and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a great idea. So she offers a lot of support in that area, but also when I'm conflicted on how to handle a situation, I know that I can call her and talk it through with her, and she will give an unbiased view on what's going on and what I should do, and it's such a big help. And then to just be able to call and say, you know what, I've had a bad day and I want to vent, and just being able to vent to her and her, it's going to be okay. You know, I have my days too. I try to be positive all the time, but some days I have my moments. And to have someone that's a support system that I can call and know that she's always got my back, it's just a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
I mean, it sounds amazing that you really thought you were going to hire someone so you could go and do something different, and instead hiring someone allowed you to step in a completely different role, but kind of elevated and this visionary for the company, and networking and getting the name out there. So it's what a story. And it's just a story to other leaders who are afraid to take a step back, thinking that other people are going to shine maybe more than them, but it would allow them, like, you talk about the DISC assessment, understand where their strengths are, and put people, even owners of the company in the right seat on the bus.
And I feel so much gratitude sitting here today. I've always been so thankful for my life and my opportunities, but now I feel like the decisions I've made and the journey I took over the last 6 years has led me here. And I get to choose what I want to do. And all the employees and the people in our business get to choose.
Yeah.
And just being able to watch that and see people come into themselves and really grow and feel good about that at work and at home, it's like the best feeling ever. So, it's really, I mean, I love to support. I love support. And I love to watch people grow, and I love to grow.
Yeah.
Like it's a big thing for me. So to feel confident and to feel like I have the space and the time to make those decisions and grow into these new roles is just such a gift. So.
And what an impact, Lisa, that you are having. I mean, stepping in, did you know that you would have such a big impact?
Well, I've been involved in several other companies and the turnaround of those companies and seeing the success. But honestly, I've not seen personality shifts as much as I have here at Xtreme. And I'm not sure what the difference is, but I think it was meant to be. All the work that I had done at other places, turning them around financially and working on myself, I think has enabled me to fill in this role and be able to help everybody in the company grow their EQ, start to work on a growth mindset, start to trust everybody, and start to work on what is it that makes me happy? Am I doing the things that I want to do that makes me happy? And talking about people in the wrong seats, she was in the wrong seat.
Yeah.
And now she's in the right seat on the bus, and she is flourishing. She is offering all types of suggestions that has created opportunities for our business, because I'm not a one-man band. I don't have all the answers, and I look for guidance from all my staff, and I certainly look for guidance from Jessica. She's very wise. She's very business savvy, and she's been able to offer a lot of opportunities for the company to grow and improve. And just being, there's so many people in the CEO roles that I've got to do this myself. They've got that mentality of if I accept help from others, then that must mean that I'm not capable of doing this job.
Yeah. And admitting defeat.
And and that is so not the case. Yeah. That's why I want to have people that are going to challenge me. I want to be able to be better. I want the company to be better. All of our goals is for the company to do well. And the best way to do that is to listen to everybody's ideas and trying to figure out what's best for the company. And then having a chief visionary officer that pops in and offers suggestions. Some of them we don't do. Some of them I'm like, yes, that is so perfect. Why didn't I think of that? But to have that, and then just have her, kind of as a mentor to me too. Just being, she's lived a long life, and she's done a lot of self-growth, and she helps me with that too. So it's wonderful to have someone that I can partner with like this. Yeah. And not feel like I've got to take it all on myself. Yeah.
What an amazing partnership story, transformation. If someone is looking for Xtreme Coating Solutions, where would they be able to find you?
You can find our website at Xtreme without the E -coat.com. It's got our phone number, the website's out there. We also have Facebook. We're on LinkedIn, and we'd love to be able to do anybody's floors that's wanting that done. We also do painting. Okay. And we've got a company, Root and Rise, that we just started in May of last year that's doing phenomenal, and they do carpet, tile, grout, LVT, all the different types of flooring installations. So anything floor related we can do. We also do painting.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here and sharing your story. And I can't wait to see where the company goes.
Great. Thank you so much for having us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to Tripoint Conversations. Make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. If this conversation resonated with you, share it with a friend or someone who's navigating their own next chapter. And if you know a story that deserves to be heard, or maybe that story is yours, head to tripointstrategicgroup.com and send me a note. I can't wait to keep this journey going with you and introduce you to more incredible people who are shaping their communities one story at a time.